Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it is Saturday and I just wanted to talk to you guys about um, what I what I went through when I went through a takeover robbery. Um, what I what I went through before, during, and after I had this experience. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I have a friend that has recently gone through a robbery, not necessarily in a takeover robbery, but it's very traumatic. So I want to talk about everything I went through from beginning to end. It has been a few years, and it was in in a bank, um, the bank that I currently work for right now. So it was. I'm just gonna jump right into it. It was early in the morning when we first opened our doors, and I remember I was working the teller window, and I was the first window that can see the front door. And at that time, the bank had doors that could swing open and close. You know, of course, they lock when you need to lock them, but they were just swing open and close doors. And um, it was maybe 10 minutes after we opened in the morning. And I remember I had just gotten a customer at my window. She was from a liquor store. And I remember her putting her deposit on my counter. It was in a paper bag. And at that time, I had looked at the front door because I heard some commotion. And I saw two men coming in, fully masked from head to toe, in black. They had black masks that go over, um, like the beanie mask that only have the holes for, your nose and your eyes. And I remember seeing one of them push a customer out of the way as he was leaving. He pushed him out of the way, and I believe there was only I believe there were two, maybe three inside the bank. And I remember when I saw them come through the door, I hit the alarm. I pushed the I think what I did first was I pushed the deposit back to the customer. And I hit the alarm. I got down. I crawled to the next alarm. I hit it. I crawled to the next alarm and I hit it. And I remember commotion, of one of them yelling to get down. And I remember hearing another one jumping the counter. And I remember hearing the money counter hitting the ground. And at that time, when I was crawling back to where my window was, I looked around and there was no one around. They were all hidden already. And at that time, the bank used to play music through the speaker. And when this started happening, the music just went away. I couldn't hear it anymore. And all I could hear was a copy machine going behind the counter behind me. And later on, I have found out that the manager was back there, and he had gotten down and hid the tellers that were, I think there was two more tellers, and they had gotten under the counter and hid. And by the time I was thinking about hiding, there was already one of the guys that jumped the counter, already had his gun at me and telling me to open my door. And I try not to make eye contact with him. I remember getting my key with my left hand, and I'm right-handed. I'm sorry. I remember getting the key with my left hand, and thankfully I had the right key. I reached over and unlocked my door. And thank goodness it was first thing in the morning, because at that time I didn't have a lot of cash in my door. You're limited to a certain amount in your teller door. And I pushed the customer's deposit to her, so I believe she grabbed it and she was down on the floor. So he had a black trash bag, and he kept telling me, do what I say, it's all good, it's all good. So I remember I just opened the doors, I let him grab whatever he wanted, and it seemed like I was in a movie at the time. Like everything was in slow motion. I didn't hear the music going, I just heard the copier going. I heard the other guy on the other side, on the platform, which is where the manager usually sits, and then a new accounts. And he had a gun on her and had them all get down on the floor. And I remember another guy yelling that they were in there too long, that they had to leave, they were in there so many minutes. And so I think at that time I was the only one he robbed, because everyone else was hidden, so I was the only one there on the floor. And he only had enough time to grab what I had in my door. So he jumped back over the counter. They took off the other side of the bank, which also had doors that just swung open. They were locked, but you could push them from the inside to leave. And after it was all over, I bawled. I was so relieved that they were gone. I was so relieved that he didn't feel the need to shoot at me. And it was just like a traumatic experience. And I thought I was over it, but you're never completely over something like that. And I remember when the cops finally got there, they had already left. I found out that the customer that they had pushed out of the way ran across the street to the dry cleaners. They called the cops. And then when they left, a lady that worked at the Better Business Bureau across the way saw them. She followed them. She couldn't call the cops because she had her purse in the trunk, so she wasn't able to get to her phone. But she came back and told the cops where there was somebody waiting out there for them in the car. They drove to a specific area and they switched cars. I don't know if they ever caught them. Honestly, at that time I was thankful that he didn't use his gun on anybody, that neither one of them did. And when the cops were interviewing me, it's funny how you notice, your mind is aware of other things, like the music. I couldn't hear it. I did not make eye contact with him, but I did notice the type of shoes he was wearing, what size I think he was wearing. I could tell that he was young because of the language he was using. So I just wanted to talk about this because it's important to remain calm in a situation like that. Not to communicate with them if you don't have to, but be aware of their clothing, their mannerism, if they're using any slang, um, how old do you think they might be, how many there were, you know, just different stuff like that that you need to look at here for, but not directly looking at them. Um, so I just wanted to bring this to you, not only for myself, but to help you in a situation like that. It is very important to remain calm, and it's very important to just do as they say, and don't look at them directly in their eye, but acknowledge all the other traits that they have. Acknowledge the type of gun they have. And the only reason why I know is because he had it pointed at me. So, I mean, I didn't look at him directly in his eye, but I mean, I try to see all the other traits about him, So, this has been very therapeutic for me. Even though it's been a while, it's still a traumatic experience. And I just hope that this little conversation can help somebody that's ever in that situation to just remain calm. Don't talk to them if you don't need to. Let them, give them what they want. Don't fight them. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about this. And I was talking to my friend, and she kind of did the same thing, try not to make eye contact and remain calm. So, yeah. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys, and I hope that it helps somebody. And after all that happened, I did have to go to counseling for, I think I had like maybe 7 sessions of counseling, but it helped me a lot. I did end up leaving the bank for about 7 years, and then after I got laid off from that position, I came back into banking, but I went into the credit management department, so it wasn't in the branch. And yeah, I like it, but if I had to work in the branch again, I think I could. I mean, now we have what's called man trap doors. So you have to enter one door, pass through a metal detector in order to get inside the bank. So that gives me peace of mind that our bank has something like that now for us. So I mean, it can happen anywhere, at any time. But to just remember to be calm and just give them what they want. They want your wallet, they want your watch, whatever it is. Just give it to them. Those things can be replaced, but you cannot. So I just wanted to talk about this today. So, yeah. Well, I hope you all have a nice weekend and enjoy the day. It's beautiful outside. I think today it's going to be in the 90s. I live in Southern California, so it's always nice and sunny here. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. You guys have a beautiful weekend. All right, bye.